The Herman Miller Embody was my first real introduction to high-end office chairs. So yes, I basically started at the top. I've now been using the Embody on and off for over 5 years, starting with the original version, then quickly adding the Logitech Gaming Embody to the collection. Now, because I work at a company that sells office chairs, I've been able to test out all of the best chairs on the market right alongside it. So I want to answer a simple question. Where do I rank the Embody 5 years later? And have any of those contenders knocked it off the top spot? Let's start with the Embody's unique seat. Unlike chairs like the Steelcase Leap or Libernovo Omni, the Embody doesn't rely on a traditional foam cushion. Instead, it uses Herman Miller's pixelated support system. Because of that design, the seat feels a little firmer at first. It's not that thick pad that you're going to sink into. The original Embody has a very thin foam and fabric layer, while the Logitech Gaming Embody adds an extra layer of foam between the pixels and the fabric. It seems like a small change, but it does take the edge off the firmness. Over long sessions, that suspended system distributes your weight extremely even, so the seat ends up feeling more forgiving than you'd expect. Compared to a foam-heavy chair like the Omni, the Embody keeps you more on the seat rather than sitting down in it. This makes it easier to shift positions and helps reduce seat buildup over long hours. The Embody also has a big, wide seat, and that matters more than people realize. You're not locked into one specific ergonomic position. You can shift, stretch, and move around comfortably. This also allows some different seating positions. You can also adjust the seat depth with the front handles. This system makes dialing in the fit for different body sizes really easy. The Embody is definitely not going to be for everyone. If you want to see how we rank all of the top office chairs, check out our guide linked in the description. Instead of locking your spine into one fixed curve, the Embody's backrest again uses that pixelated support system, so it reacts to how you move throughout the day. You can twist, stretch, and shift without feeling constrained by a hard frame. Compare that to the Aeron. This uses firm mesh and a hard frame, which keeps you really centered in the chair. The Embody allows for far more movement and not force you into the same posture. That flexibility makes it closer to chairs like the Leap or the Omni. Another difference is that the Embody's back is relatively narrow. You'll see similar designs on chairs like the Fern and the Anthros. That narrower profile keeps your shoulders more open, rather than resting against the backrest the way they do on a wide chair like the Leap. The Embody doesn't have adjustable lumbar, just a built-in natural curve. I wouldn't mind a little extra support, but this has never been a problem for me. Once I get the back angle adjustment dialed in, the back stays supportive over long sessions. This also helps the commonly mentioned shoulder roll issue. Dialing the backrest slightly back makes that a non-issue for me. I'll address this shoulder roll issue again later. On paper, the Embody's armrests don't look impressive. They're simple with only height and width adjustment. Compared to other high-end chairs, that sounds pretty limiting, but that simplicity is exactly why I like them. The arms are firm and stable. I prefer less adjustability and more stability, just so long as I can get the arms to fit me. And with the Embody, I definitely can. The arm pads are large, flat, and well cushioned. This does a great job of spreading pressure across your forearms or elbows. I don't really miss pivot or depth adjustment here because the pads are so large. They cover most of the area where other armrests would pivot or slide anyways, so I'm able to get comfortable without constantly fiddling with adjustments. Recline is where Herman Miller earns its reputation. The Embody uses their harmonic tilt system, and in my opinion, it's the best recline mechanism in the business. The motion is super smooth, balanced, and it's effortless to use across the entire range. You can sit fully upright for task work or recline deep to relax. The Embody does include a tilt limiter. This allows you to set how far back the chair can recline. It's there if you want defined recline positions, but personally, I almost never use it. I usually keep the tilt unlocked and just dial in the tilt tension so I can freely recline, stopping anywhere I choose. From a long-term durability standpoint, our two Embody chairs have held up extremely well. After years of regular office use, the frames are still solid, the mechanisms feel just as precise as they did out of the box, and the arms function just like new. Even the recline mechanism still works exactly the same as day one, with no unusual noises, creakiness, or sticking. With that said, that doesn't mean that these chairs are silent, but there's no noises that I'd consider concerning. The only noticeable wear we've seen is some fabric wear and slight color fading on our standard Embody, which is exactly what you'd expect after heavy use. This is where things get interesting. Atlas finally gives the Embody a headrest, and it changes the whole experience. Even though it doesn't come from Herman Miller, it integrates beautifully with the chair. It matches the design and doesn't feel like an afterthought. Functionally, it provides great head and neck support, especially while reclined. It also helps take some pressure off the upper back, further relieving that shoulder-pushing curve at the top of the backrest. It honestly might be the best headrest in all office chairs right now, right up there with the Gesture. This is a huge upgrade and one of the biggest reasons that the Embody feels even more comfortable today than it did years ago. The tall back, pixelated design feels futuristic even years after its release. It's one of those chairs that instantly signals high-end setup when you see it at a desk. Especially the Logitech gaming version with a bit of shine to the fabric and some additional styling accents. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, price. Now the Embody is really expensive. There's no way around that. But you're getting a 12-year warranty, high-end materials, excellent long-term durability, and the most refined recline system. Herman Miller offers a 30-day return window, though they do charge a small return fee in the US. This is definitely a long-term investment chair. If money is not a factor, the Herman Miller Embody is still one of my top picks and I rank it S tier. In the last 5 years, I found that there's room at the top for a couple more chairs. I've ranked the Betad refurbished Lamia and the Libernovo Omni S tier for comfort as well, but they haven't made me forget about my first S tier chair.